trucks built to serve.
Super Bowl week is finally upon us. Do Joe Burrow and the Bengals have any chance at upsetting Matthew Stafford and the Rams? Yep. Hey, Russ was relegated to bench for the Lakers' overtime win Saturday. Bench. Can LA overcome Westbrook's struggles the rest of the way now? We will discuss what's in line for them and Mac Jones doing literally everything at the Pro Bowl. All of it, Nick. Take it all in, buddy. Take it in. Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Nick is so amused. He loved what happened. Nick Broussard, Harden, Wild Wells, put a grade. Put a grade on that for us right now. Go ahead, do it.
Wow,
he put a grade on it? Oh!
You love it.
I didn't know
you
Goatee danced that well. The
loved
hooves,
it.
got the hooves are moving around. Oh, A+.
You couldn't stop tweeting
Me
it.
put a
It was
grade
all
on
over Instagram. You put a grade on it.
Buddy,
I'll put a grade on it.
You're the reason we're talking about it.
That was smooth. So let's make it even smoother. Talking some James Harden this morning, who has reportedly been unhappy with his time in Brooklyn. The Athletic reported the Sixers were working on a Harden for Ben Simmons swap, but Steve Nash said Harden isn't going anywhere. A new report from ESPN this morning after Harden missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury had this: Brooklyn is trusting the injury is a legitimate hindrance to Harden playing now. An MRI Saturday confirmed there was tightness. The way they're trusting his word that he wants to remain with the franchise, sources say. Even so, saying he's committed isn't nearly as convincing as showing it. And that's something Harden has barely done lately. At times this year, Harden has played dispassionate and disappointing basketball, perhaps injury-related in some instances, perhaps pouty in others. By the way, guys, Nets have lost their 7th and 8th straight over the weekend. This was a team, remember, they were in first place on Christmas. Guess where they are now? 7th place. All right, Broussard, I'll start with you. Should the Nets trade James Harden before Thursday's trade deadline?
Look, everything you read, Jenna, from that article, that's all true. But no, they should not trade James Harden. Certainly not for Ben Simmons. Because the best as bad as the Nets look, and that's from the morale being low, the chemistry being poor, the execution being faulty, their best chance to win a championship this season is with James Harden, not with Ben Simmons. If you trade for Ben Simmons, you're punting on this season because you have no chance of winning a championship with him this year. You have no idea what you're getting if you trade for a Ben Simmons package. Is he going to be mentally ready to play? Will he take jump shots? Heck, will he take layups? What will happen to him if you have a playoff series with the Philadelphia 76ers? How will he fit chemistry-wise on the floor and in the locker room with your players? And when you play home games and Kyrie Irving can't play, you're down to one legitimate scorer in Kevin Durant. So as bad as things seem, and they are bad right now, your best chance still to salvage this season and win a championship is with James Harden. So if I'm the Nets, Nick, I keep him. I play this thing out. I'm not saying it looks great and that they're definitely going to win it, but that's a better chance than trade for Simmons. They can get the Simmons package in the summer. All right, if they want to trade for Ben Simmons, play this season out,
this year.
Get him.
That's fun.
Fine. But trade. You can
totally
trade for Ben Simmons. You can trade for Ben Simmons. And maybe, where's Harden going in the future?
Yeah.
And as a free agent, Orlando, Oklahoma City, San Antonio.
Yeah, but who's to say that's the trade Philly wants?
Wait, is he going to any of those teams?
No, buddy, you're looking at it wrong. Like, everyone, Daryl Morey. You know, I just trade Simmons before the year. Just get it over with. What's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Does it look like Dame is dead set in Portland? Does it look like Bradley Beal is dead set in Washington? And now all of a sudden, does it look like James Harden is dead set in Brooklyn? Nope, nope, nope. And if you're any of those teams, who's the first phone call you're making? Who's the only team with a 25-year-old under contract for 4 more years that has a couple All-NBA teams under his belt? The Sixers. Yeah. So this idea that, you can get Ben Simmons any point in time, I don't know that to be true because I think this very moment, Philly is likely having conversations with Washington about what is the status on Bradley Beal. The Dame thing's complicated because I don't know that anyone knows the full severity of his injury. But I vehemently disagree with Broussard Wilds. I think this trade is the only chance Brooklyn has at winning the East this year.
Please.
You've got listen, at some point, the Nets have to stop being an NFT and they have to start being a basketball team. At some point,
trade for Ben Simmons?
Idea of at some point you have to
That's your
recognize
answer?
and acknowledge this team. The answer is right now the team they have stinks. Right now, KD, Harden, Kyrie, never been together. There's no reason to believe it's going to work. And before Wilds, we were on the air Friday, shortly before the report dropped that Harden could be traded this year. And what were we talking about? James Harden has gone full Tom Tupa on the Nets. He's punting it. Nope, not interested. He had just come off a 4-point game against the Kings, and now all of a sudden, he is quite conspicuously missing games with the hammy.
There's tightness.
And they even put in the article, they're
tightness.
taking him at his word. When you have to put in the article, they're taking him at his word.
That's true.
That means we don't know. And so this idea that the Nets have any chance of winning a title with a bench that doesn't exist, with a top 3 player in the world who, God love him, right now is dealing with another injury, with the most mercurial, not even superstar, but star in sports, Kyrie Irving.
Come on.
And James Harden, who's 18 pounds overweight and 18 days removed from last caring about the Nets. It's not a good recipe.
It's unbelievable.
And so the idea that Ben Simmons plus Seth Curry or Ben Simmons plus one of the other, because you'd have to add another piece to make the money work, doesn't make them better. I think it's nuts, Wiles. I think this is a move the Nets absolutely should make.
No, I don't think they go. I don't think they make this move, Broussard. I think that Steve Nash needs to have a full-on press conference in Barclays and say something very simple. We are 13-3 when all 3 of our big 3 play. We are still favored to win the NBA championship. We're not like the Lakers who have fallen way behind the Heat. We're still favored to win. All we need to do is be 100% in. James, are you 100% in? If you don't want to be traded to Philly, yes. Kyrie, are you 100% in? Yeah, half the time. Okay. KD, are you 100% in? Oh, when you're not trying to relitigate your Warriors exit? Stop. What is Babe Ruth to the Yankees? Like, stop. We've talked too much about this. Fans, are you 100% in? Yes, except when you're chanting MVP for John Steph. But if all of those things could be smoothed over, Broussard, the Nets are still the best basketball team. They're 13-3 when the big 3
That's
play,
such nonsense.
and they're still favored to win. I wouldn't make a move. I wouldn't make a move. They just need to get focused and get everybody on the court. Can it happen? I don't know. But when it does happen, it works. You're saying it doesn't work even when they're playing, Nick.
Right. All I'm saying, Nick, is their best chance is with Harden rather than trading for Ben Simmons. And here's
correct.
the thing here's the thing with Simmons in the summer. I do think they could get him. You're right. Dame may be available. Bradley Beal could be available. They could trade him somewhere else. But if James Harden wants to leave the Nets, he's not going to any of the teams that have cap room.
I agree
because all
with that.
those teams stink. And so if you don't get Ben Simmons for Harden, you're going to get somebody else good. And you're going to get another good package for Harden. Or he's going to have to stay and decide wants to play for you because he can't go elsewhere. So there's that. And there's also this, Nick. Wiles brought up the 13-3 record. They're 2-0 since Kyrie came back when the big 3 play. I get it, small sample size. But that 6-12 record since Kyrie has started playing, yes, the chemistry is bad, and it looks like Harden's morale is gone. But also injuries are a factor. Durant's missed 12 of those games.
Luckily, those won't apply in the playoffs.
Nick Claxton and LaMarcus Aldridge have missed 9 games each in that stint.
Oh,
Joe Harris has missed all the games, and Harden has missed 5 of them. So injuries, you can't discount injuries in this either, Nick.
No,
it's not
true.
just, Kyrie stepped on the court, now they stink.
No. And luckily, once the playoffs start, you go to the NBA 2K settings and you toggle injuries off, so they won't have to worry about those at all. When we're talking about potential Harden trades, do you think do you think they'd maybe be able to call do you think they could get like a Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and 7 future firsts? Like, is that too much?
I thought about that. That'd be nice.
Because if they could toggle, undo. Here's an interesting question. I know we don't have time for it. Just mull it over the next hour. If they could undo the Harden trade, would they? The answer is obviously yes, which is why the answer is they should trade him. If they could undo it, get all their picks back, get nice role players, then they would obviously undo it. Okay.
I don't think that's obviously yes.
I wonder if Harden feels that way. By the way, we have a couple